Okay, I'm going to redo my video introduction on the Augason Farms. Augason Farms emergency food ration packs, stuff like that. Now this is actually, it's bulk number 10 can food. It's not truly ration packs because nothing in their stuff is split up for individual servings, okay? And generally, when you see it over at the store at Walmart, it's going to be either in these number 10 cans, what they call everyday size cans, which is a much smaller can. And then you've got these 6-pack boxes, which is the breakfast pack and a dinner pack. And basically inside, it's the same stuff that's in the cans. Okay, so basically the same stuff that's in the cans. I like to leave these in the packs just because it makes it easy to move these things around. Each one of these packs is around 60 bucks at the Walmart store. Now, if you buy it at Sam's Club, it's around 70 something. So assume that one of these packs is going to cost you about the same, or right around the price of a case of MREs. The meal breakdown on these is a little bit iffy. They're talking about 12 to 1500 calorie a day diets of one of these things lasting a month. 12 to 1500 calories a day is starvation level. Okay, working adult is going to need more like 4500 calories a day. MRE, a single MRE usually has around 1800 calories in it. You can get by on 1800 calories. Marines do in a crucible phase of boot camp, but nobody's happy, and you can't sustain that for long periods of time with a lot of physical exertion. So realistically, with realistic serving sizes, your month's supply is probably going to end up looking a little bit more like this for 1 month, just because of the way it comes in the cans. Now, the question would be whether or not that feeds only one person or more than one person. And I personally think you're probably going to be able to deal with more than one person, but you're still going to be needing to supplement this with other stuff. The breakfast pack, for example, comes with some starchy mixed type stuff like buttermilk pancakes, creamy wheat cereal, dehydrated potato shreds. Not too many people eat all of that in one meal, okay? Now, I met a guy at the store who was feeding his family with this stuff just to try it out. And he said a family of 4 can go about a week on this, but everybody agrees you need to add things to that. You're going to need coffee. You're going to need some kind of sweetener for the pancakes and the cream of wheat and stuff like that. That can of honey powder is actually going to last much more than 1 month. But you could get a bottle of syrup or something for the pancakes and all that. It kind of depends on how people are going to go through that, too. So you need to get it. Whether or not you need a can that large that's going to get used up in a whole month is another story. The butter, again, another thing, and what gets a little weird is that you can't store fatty stuff with protein very easily. You can store oil separately, but when you start talking about things like meat, butter, it can go bad over time. Somehow they managed to really dry this out so that it becomes a long-term storage item. The morning moo, there's no milk involved in that breakfast pack, so the morning moo is a milk alternative. It involves a little bit of soy and dairy in it, which actually it's not half bad. It tastes a little bit better than soy milk alone or dairy milk alone. On the dinner pack, again, it's not incredibly complete, but if you get these, the butter and the milk and things that complete the breakfast, it's all gonna go with the dinner. The freeze-dried sweet corn is, I think, one of the less expensive items, but they use that to fill it out to make it a 6-can package. The vegetarian meat substitute is interesting. I'm not sure if I'd really want to live on that stuff, but you got to realize that it's definitely long-term storage. And then you get a little recipe thing on a recipe guide on the box that shows how to mix the vegetable stew, the vegetarian meat, the potato stuff, and you're basically going to be making a lot of soups and stews. Again, if you get some things to supplement that and change up your diet a little bit, we've got like chopped onions, beef bouillon, tomato powder. They have some other dried vegetables. So if you're setting up a month worth of dinners, realize it's a dinner pack plus a few things if you want like a full diet. Now, the thing about this food is it's all long-term storage. So once you buy it, you own it, that's it. You've got 10 years before you really need to worry about rotation or replacement. However, when you're dealing with this stuff, because it's not exactly a standalone item, it's not quite like getting a case of MREs with the servings already figured out, the coffee has a much shorter storage life. That coffee usually goes about 3 years. The olive oil can go longer, except that this is a plastic container, and I don't think I want to try and store that plastic container 10 years. Although there's no expiration date on this. So if you have olive oil, let's say you store it in glass, then it's going to go a long time. And then because there's no lunch pack, and you may be out working, you may not be home at your little homestead or bug out retreat, you may be out working or doing things, you have to put your own lunch pack together. They don't have one yet that's a lunch pack. So, you know, there's other items they sell. A lot of the cheesy broccoli and the Southwest chili mix are really good for thermos cooking. The brownie mix should not require a bread machine or anything. You can get into campfire and improvised oven cooking with that. The bread and roll mix, you know, there's different ways to work with it, but it's basically a bread and roll mix. It's a flour mix. And out of all of these kits, only one of them contains a can of that. You get about 4 loaves of bread out of that. It's not very expensive. It's about, I think, $6. So if you're setting up a 1 month supply, you're probably going to want more than 1 loaf of bread a week, because they're not huge loaves either. And that's going to become kind of a significant part of your meal. So yeah, get another can of that. And again, we're going to add some oils and some spices. One of the most efficient ways to have oil, spice, and vinegar in a lot of soup mix and food mix is to use vinegar-based salad dressings. Okay, the spice is already there, the oil's already there, the vinegar's already there. You got different flavors on the stuff. You dump some of that in the soups, and it makes them a hell of a lot better. It really improves them. And then, of course, olive oil. Now, why would you want to focus on this type of food and, you know, not some of the stuff other guys are talking about online, like beef jerky, you know, really good. Mountain House food, really good. This guy's, James Yeager on his channel is talking about scavenging stuff from hotel rooms because you paid for it anyway. This is coffee from a hotel room. And then some of your eco people really like to talk about this stuff here, like your 13 bean soup mix and Bob's Red Mill. These two items are actually made here in Oregon, and they're good stuff. The issue is the packaging. Okay, so my retreat location is one I don't live at full time, and then I have this trailer here that I have an issue with that probably less than most people, because I haven't had rats and mice out here, but a lot of other guys online have rat and mouse problems even in the places they live in, let alone some place that you're going to supply, leave, and just have a caretaker out there keeping an eye on things. If you have that type of situation, these packages are no good. Okay, critters can get into that very easily. The odors of the food will get through that and it will attract them. These packages, this is all unsecure packaging. Okay, so the Mountain House and the beef jerky and the coffee is good for short term. You can keep it in a backpack or something that you're going to roll out with. But as far as pre-positioned supplies, the coffee really needs to be in the cans, okay? And then when you buy it, you got to look at those expiration dates. So I'm not going to talk about this stuff for long-term food storage, okay? It's got to be the real thing. It's got to be the freeze-dried stuff. Augason Farms, readily available at Walmart, and it's probably the smartest choice. It's available to most Americans in the short term. That's easy to go and buy. You walk in the store, you buy it. I'm also going to mention a little bit, because I've been seeing a lot of commentary on, you know, what happens when the economy goes down and some people are getting food stamps, or they're going to food banks, or other kind of what some people would consider to be last-ditch stuff. And we're going to talk about that in the next video.